Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are stepping onto absolutely hollowed ground. As the whole world gears up for 2026, Mexico City's legendary Estadio Azteca is actually preparing to make history by hosting its third World Cup. So if you've ever wondered exactly how architecture, history, and sheer global anticipation collide on a massive scale, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get right into it.
To really grasp what we're dealing with here, we have to look way beyond just its imposing architectural footprint. This colossal structure sits right in the heart of Mexico City, at an altitude of over 7,200 feet. That is an elevation that drastically affects gameplay and really tests the physical endurance of every single athlete out there. And when you add in the fact that it's built to hold a staggering capacity of over 87,000 fans, you immediately start to understand the sheer volume of humanity this venue is engineered to handle. It's wild.
So let's look at the marvels of the architecture, taking you right inside the cavernous bowl. The physical experience completely shifts the second you actually step inside. The sweeping, tiered seating is masterfully engineered with a very specific purpose in mind: to keep nearly 90,000 screaming fans feeling intimately close to the pitch, despite the stadium's massive overall capacity. And meanwhile, that oval roof overhead, it basically acts as a near-perfect aperture. It deliberately frames the sky and draws every single eye directly down to the action on the grass, completely cutting out any outside distractions. Now, comparing the imposing exterior footprint to the enclosed interior atmosphere is fascinating. Those sprawling structural exterior supports we mentioned earlier, they aren't just holding up the roof. They actually allow for this intensely enclosed atmosphere. The specific architectural design essentially acts as a giant acoustic funnel. It traps and heavily amplifies the roaring energy of the crowd, creating this intimidating, legendary wall of sound that has famously rattled visiting teams for literally decades. Moving on to the 2026 opening match, which is truly a historic milestone.
All the global excitement, the intense preparations, and the massive infrastructure upgrades all center around one year that structurally changes the sport forever: 2026. Guys, this isn't just another tournament. It actually marks the first ever 48-team World Cup, bringing together an unprecedented, expanded roster of nations spread across 3 massive North American host countries. It's going to be huge.
But specifically, mark your calendars for June 11th. When the whistle blows on this exact date, the Azteca is going to cement a truly untouchable legacy. Think about this. It will officially become the only stadium on Earth to host the opening match of 3 separate World Cups. Having previously kicked off the global tournaments in 1970 and 1986, this is just incredible.
And the cultural gravity of Mexico City kicking off this tournament is just immense. Hosting the absolute first match of the FIFA World Cup 26 isn't just an incredible historical honor, it's a massive logistical undertaking. All of that global anticipation, the years of intense planning, and the international spotlight will be beamed completely onto this exact location, right before the tournament eventually fans out across the rest of the continent.
Which brings us to the legendary World Cup trophy itself, the ultimate prize.
Because at the end of the day, all of this grand architecture, the historic opening matches, and those capacity crowds ultimately point toward one singular object. Crafted from 18-karat solid gold, this specific icon was introduced back in 1974 to replace the original Jules Rimet trophy. It represents the absolute emotional climax of the sport. It is the ultimate prize, the singular obsession, and literally the lifelong dream for every single team and player stepping onto the pitch at the Azteca.
So we've explored the monumental stage, we know the exact date the world will be watching, and we really understand the deep history behind the prize they're all fighting for. Which means the only question remaining is, who will lift the ultimate prize in Mexico City? Think about that as we wrap up today's explainer. Thank you so much for joining me, and I honestly can't wait to continue exploring these incredible topics with you next time.